Hello, today we are doing UCertify course CompTIA CySA Plus Lab Examining MITRE Attack. Introduction. The MITRE Attack framework is a comprehensive analysis of the tactics, techniques, and procedures used by adversaries to breach systems and networks. It is designed to help organizations identify security gaps in their defenses and develop strategies to mitigate risk. The framework is comprised of 9 tactics, which represent the various stages of an attack, and over 200 techniques, which represent the individual steps of an attack. And steps we have to do is open Firefox and go to MITRE ATTACK page. So here we have 7 steps, 7 tactics, and here are the techniques. Did it say 7? It said 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure. I just want to ask chat about this. Why it says 9 tactics if it shows 7. Let's see. I always like to ask. It says 9, but your image shows only 7. The screenshot you are looking at shows an older or partial view of attack metrics. At that time, only 7 tactics were shown in the matrix. MITRE expanded attack over the years by adding more tactics. Today, there are 14 tactics in total. Wow, so that website they told us to go is outdated. So let's go here, MITRE attack. Just to the regular website. And we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I see 13, not 14. I see 13, not 14. Impact. Impact includes things like hidden. Where is hidden? Impact. I don't see impact. Okay. Let's see. What do we have to do in the lab? So, steps. Aha, because they wanted us just for enterprise, so maybe that's some special, and that was just 7. I'm not sure. Okay, scroll down and examine each column that represents a tactic, while individual cells are techniques. Techniques with multiple sub-techniques can be expanded. Okay, let's go. So, reconnaissance. Active scanning, gather victim host information, gather victim identity information, gather victim network information, gather victim organization information, Fishing for information, search closed sources, search open technical databases, search open websites domains, search victim-owned websites, resource development, acquire access, acquire resource development, acquire infrastructure, compromise accounts, compromise infrastructure, develop capabilities, establish accounts, obtain capabilities, stage capabilities. What is stage capabilities? Initial access, content injection, drive-by compromise, exploit public-facing application, external remote services, hardware additions, phishing, replication through removable media, supply chain compromise, trusted relationship, valid accounts, Wi-Fi networks, execution, cloud administration command and scripting interpreter, container administration command, deploy container, XC administration command. Is this like a hypervisor? XC? Exploitation for client execution, input injection, inter-process communication, native API, scheduled task job, serverless execution, shared modules. I want to check shared modules, software deployment tools, system services, user execution, Windows management, instrumentation, persistence, account manipulation, bids, jobs, boot or log on auto start execution, boot or log on initialization, initialization scripts, cloud application integration, compromise host software binary, create account, create or modify system process, event triggered execution, exclusive control external remote services, hijack execution flow, implant internal image, modify authentication process, modify registry, office application startup, power settings, pre-operating system, boot, scheduled task, job, server, software, components, software execution, traffic signaling, valid accounts. Okay. Privilege escalation, abuse elevation control mechanism, access token manipulation, account manipulation, boot or logon auto start execution, boot or logon initialization, Whew. Scripts, create or modify system process, domain or tenant policy modification, escape to host, event triggered execution, exploitation for privilege escalation, hijack execution flow, process injection, scheduled task job, valid accounts, abuse elevation, control mechanism, access token manipulation, bits, jobs, build, image on host, debugger, evasion, deobfuscate, decode files or information, invasion, defense invasion. Let's check this one. Deploy container, direct volume access, domain or tenant policy modification, email spoofing, execution guard rails, exploitation for defense evasion, file and directory permissions modification, hide artifacts, hijack execution flow, impair defenses, impersonation, indicator removal, that's interesting, indirect command execution, masquerading, modify authentication process, modify cloud compute infrastructure, modify cloud resource hierarchy, modify registry, modify system image, network boundary bridging, obfuscated files or information, list, plist file modification, plist, re operating system boot. This was here. So they have the same. Let's see if this is the same. Yes, it's number 5 and number 5. No, wait. What does this small number mean? Um, Let me ask chat. What those small numbers mean. In parentheses, represent the number of sub-techniques under each main technique. Has 5 sub-techniques. Different ways attackers can exploit or manipulate the pre-operating system. Schedule task, 5 sub-techniques. Software extension, 2 sub-techniques. Okay. So if there is no number, it means it's just one. Process injection, reflective code loading, rogue domain controller, rootkit, subvert trust controls, system binary proxy execution, system script proxy execution, template injection, traffic signaling, trusted developer utilities proxy execution, unused unsupported cloud regions, use alternate authentication material, valid accounts, virtualization sandbox evasion, weekend encryption, XSL script processing. Okay, credential access, adversary in the middle. So like man in the middle probably. Brute force, credentials from password stores, exploitation for credential access, force authentication, forge web credentials, input capture, modify authentication process, multi-factor authentication interception. What is this again? Credential access. Multi-factor authentication request generation, network sniffing, operating system credential dumping, steal application access token, steal or forge authentication certificates, steal or forge Kerberos tickets. Kerberos are keys. Kerberos tickets to enable pass the ticket. Kerberos is out and okay protocol is an authentication protocol widely used in a modern Windows domain environments. In Kerberos environments, referred to as realms, there are 3 basic participants: client, service, and key distribution center. Okay, so there is a key involved. Clients request access to a service and through the exchange of Kerberos tickets originating from key distribution center, they are granted access after having successfully authenticated. The KDC is responsible for both authentication and ticket granting. Adversaries may attempt to abuse Kerberos by stealing tickets or forging tickets to enable unauthorized access. On Windows, the built-in KList utility can be used to list and analyze cached Kerberos tickets. Procedure examples: Akira have used scripts to dump Kerberos authentication credentials. Mitigations for containing the impact of previously granted golden ticket, reset the built-in KRBTGT account password twice, which will invalidate an existing golden tickets that have been created with the hash, and other Kerberos tickets derived from it. Consider rotating the KRBTGD account password every 180 days. Detection. References. Those are all articles. Blog from blog. Okay. So far, okay. Let's go back. Still web session cookie, unsecured credentials. Okay. Discovery, account discovery, application window discovery, browsing information discovery, cloud infrastructure discovery, cloud service dashboard, cloud service discovery. It looks a little bit like the same cloud service, cloud infrastructure. Now, maybe it's just very similar, but it's not the same. Cloud storage, object discovery, container and resource discovery, debugger evasion, device driver discovery, domain trust, file and directory discovery, group policy discovery, log enumeration. I want to briefly check that later. Network service discovery, network share discovery, network sniffing, password policy discovery, peripheral device discovery, permission groups discovery, process discovery, query registry, remote system discovery, software discovery, system information discovery, system location discovery, system network configuration discovery, system network connections, system owner, user, system service, system time discovery, virtual machine discovery, virtualization, sandbox evasion, lateral movement, exploitation of remote services, internal spearfishing, lateral tool transfer, remote service session hijacking, remote services replication through removable media, software deployment tools, taint shared content, used alternate application material, collection, adversary in the middle again, archive collected data, audio capture, automated collection, browser session hijacking, report data, data from cloud storage, data from configuration repository, data from information repositories, data from local system, data from network shared drive, data from removable media, data staged, email collection, input capture, screen capture, video capture, command and control, so-called C2, application layer protocol, communication through removable media, content injection, data encoding, data obfuscation, dynamic resolution, encrypted channel, fallback channels, hide infrastructure, ingress tool transfer, multi-stage channels, non-application layer protocol, non-standard port, protocol tunneling, proxy, remote access tools, traffic signaling, web service. Extra filtration, automated extra filtration, data transfer, size limits, extra filtration over alternative protocol, exfiltration, exfiltration, not extra, over C2 channel, exfiltration over other network medium, exfiltration over physical medium, exfiltration over web services, scheduled transfer data to cloud. C2 channel, let's see. Log enumeration. Adversaries may enumerate system and service log to find useful data. These logs may highlight various types of valuable insights for an adversary, such as user authentication records. Host binaries may be leveraged to collect system. Let's copy this and explain in simple words, please. Hackers may look through system and security logs to gather useful information about what's happening in a computer or network. Why? To see who is logging in, to spot weak and vulnerable software, to discover other computers, to watch defenders' responses in real time. They do this by using built-in tools like WEV2TIL, X, or PowerShell. In the cloud, use Azure Collect guest logs, still logs from SIEM systems. What they gain, logs can tell attackers what's happening inside. Enumeration, hackers reading your logs to learn about users. Exfiltration. I would like to know the difference between exfiltration, exfiltration. I keep saying extra. Exfiltration and enumeration. Exfiltration. Enumeration, information gathering, data theft, okay. But, so this is not stealing, this is just gathering. So enumeration seems like it's more allowed. This is stealing, this is not allowed. But this is like just gathering. I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm just enumerating your data. But here, exfiltrate, I'm stealing your data. So enumeration, finding out what's there. Like in someone's fridge. Exfiltration, stealing it and taking it away. Actually taking the food out of the fridge without permission. Okay, exfiltration over C2 channel. Adversaries may steal data by exfiltrating it over an existing command and control channel. Stolen data is encoded into the normal communications channel using the same protocol as command and control communications. What is that channel? Control. It's just PowerShell or which is basically a secret back and forth. They set up C2 channel. Oh, I got it. Connection between the hacker's computer and the victim's machine. Through the channel, attackers can send commands, right? Malware, move files, collect data, receive results data back from the infected machine. C2, how it works. Think of it like a hacker installing a hidden charge app. Exfiltration over C2. Instead of creating a new path to steal data, attackers hide the stolen data inside the C2 traffic. The data piggybacks on the same connection already being used for commands. If the C2 channel uses HTTPS, normal web traffic, stolen files can be disguised to look like harmless HTTPS traffic. So this all data lays on traffic. C2 channel hackers secret control connection to your system. Where do they hide this data? Like in what part of HTTPS traffic? Give me and give me examples. Example. Hey, headers, um, data inside cookie fields, user agent strings. To defenders, it just looked like someone browsing with a weird browser or sending cookies. Malware families like plug X have hidden comments data in HTTP headers. Okay, HTTP post GET request. Instead of uploading stolen files directly, attackers break them into chunks and send them as part of post request bodies. Looks like normal form data. Can close this. Encrypted payload, TLS, transport layer. Oh my god, TLS, security. Transport layer security, right? Encryption protocol, encryption payload, TLS, traffic. Okay. Okay. References. Stage capabilities. Adversaries may upload, install, or otherwise set up capabilities that can be used during targeting. Um, Develop capabilities and obtain capabilities and stage them on the infrastructure under their control. Staging web resources necessary to conduct drive-by compromise. Staging web resources for a link target to be used with spear phishing. Uploading malware, installing a previously acquired SSL TLS. XE administration command. May abuse XE administration service to execute commands. Persistent background services on XE hosted VMS such as VMware. Um, Again, what is XE? The XE is, let's go, a hypervisor, a special operating system that runs directly on a physical server. Oh, so this is just a hypervisor one. Admins normally use XE to manage virtual machines, start them. So this is like a hypervisor one. Bare metal, yep. Oh, okay, this is just a kind of hypervisors one. Microsoft Hyper-V, Xen, VMware, XE. Okay. Learning every day. Shared modules. Adversaries may execute malicious payload via loading shared modules. They are executable files that are loaded into processes to provide access to reusable code, such as specific custom functions, or invoking operating system API functions. The Windows module loader can be instructed to load DLL from arbitrary locales. DLL stands for Dynamic Link Library. Contains code, functions, and resources like drivers, images, utilities. Okay. Bits, jobs. Background intelligent transfer service is a low bandwidth and asynchronous file transfer mechanism Low, explode through component object model bits is commonly used by updaters, messengers, and other applications prefer to operate in the background. Okay. Pre OS. Is this the same? Yep. Adversaries may abuse pre-operating system boot mechanisms as a way to establish persistence on a system during the booting processing of a computer. Firmware and various startup services are loaded before the operating system. These programs control flow of execution before the operating system takes control. Basic input-output system BIOS UEFI is Unified Extensible Firmware Interface. P-list. Property list. Okay. Adversaries may modify this list to enable other malicious activity while also potentially evading and bypassing system defenses. Mac OS applications use plist property list, such as the info plist file to store properties and configuration settings that inform the operating system how to handle the application at runtime. Coco Stealer or Caco Stealer cool, and create and populate property list files to enable execution. Indicator removal adversaries may delete or modify artifacts generated within systems to remove evidence of their presence or hinder defenses. Various artifacts may be created by an adversary. Mm, indicator removal. Hackers delete or change evidence of their activity. Okay, that's clear. Security events go unreported and forensic teams lose clues about what really happened. Execution guardrails. Execution guardrails. Hackers add rules or conditions so their malware only runs on the systems they want to hit. In the environment doesn't match, wrong country, wrong file path, wrong language, missing key, the malware won't run or deletes itself. Purpose: avoid detection, reduce mistakes, and stay hidden. Execution guardrails. Only run if system language is not Russian. Only execute if a certain file or domain exists. Require a secret passphrase. The obfuscate decode files information. Adversaries may use obfuscated files to hide artifacts or an intrusion from analysis. They may require separate mechanisms to decode or obfuscate that information depending on how they intend to use it. Methods for doing that include built-in functionality. Let's extend time. Okay, we read the whole MITRE attack. Click layout, side and list and change set side list and change it to flag. Now it's 14. Okay. Good to know. Let's go back here. Okay. Now, yeah. Now we have 14. Um, it's too bad that I cannot scroll to see what's here. But we can see it here. Impact. Account access removal, data destruction, data encrypted for impact, data manipulation, defacement, disk wipe, email bombing, ending, denial of service, financial theft, firmware corruption, inhibit system recovery, network denial of service, resource hijacking, service stop, system shutdown report. Okay. Um, okay. In the initial access, where's the initial access? Oh, okay. I can move this to the left. Initial access, expand the phishing sub techniques. Phishing, spur phishing attachment, spur phishing link, spur phishing via service, spur phishing voice. In the initial access column, click phishing to view the techniques. It includes a description, mitigation, and detection methods. The sidebar also shows its ID. Okay, here is the ID T1566. Adversaries may send phishing messages to gain access to victim systems. His electronic way delivered, so this is delivered social engineering by electronic means. Phishing can be targeted, known as spear phishing. In spear phishing, a specific individual, company, or industry will be targeted by the adversary. More generally, adversaries can conduct non-targeted phishing, such as in mass malware spam campaigns. In the right pane, under Initial Access Phishing, click Spear Phishing Attachment, Sub-techniques, and Techniques without sub-techniques. Display a list of threat actors known to use them. Spear phishing attach. Man. Let's see. So, spear phishing attachment. Adversaries may send spear phishing emails with malicious attachment in an attempt to gain access to victim systems. All right. Scroll down and click APTC36. APTC36 has used spare phishing emails with password protected. RAR attachment to avoid detected by email. It's a suspect South America espionage group that has been active since at least 2018. The group mainly targets Colombia government institutions as well as important corporations in the financial sector, petroleum industry, and professional manufacturing. Okay. Navigate back to enterprise metrics in the left pane under matrices. Click Linux. The Linux matrix looks like similar to the generic enterprise matrix. Enterprise and okay. Again. Enter. Okay, here. Linux. Flat. Okay. With cloud. Cloud matrix. Containers. Is even smaller since it only shows tactics and techniques which apply to cloud services themselves. There are multiple matrices. Mobile. So here is everything that pertains to mobile attacks. View the pre-matrix. The pre-matrix represents the planning and reconnaissance phases of an attack. Its layout is similar to others. Okay, here is the pre-matrix. Reconnaissance, active scanning, gather victim host information, gather victim identity information. It's a lot of reading, a lot. Before, I used to read this page very briefly, shorter than today. So it's a lot. I'm still in the beginning of my journey. It's a lot to learn, but it is interesting. View the ICS matrix. ICS matrix is industrial control systems. The computers and networks that run factories, power plants, water systems, pipelines. For industrial environments, it describes how adversaries attack operational technology. Things like PLC, programmable logic controllers, SCADA systems, and HMIs, human machine interfaces. Okay. Which of the following are the evasion techniques in ICS metric? The evasion techniques. Change operating mode, exploitation for evasion, indicator removal on post, masquerading, rootkit, spoof reporting message, and system binary proxy execution. Oh, this is the video. Okay. Okay, that's all for this lab. It was just a quick overview of MITRE attack and subcategories. And of course, this is much more to learn and read. See you soon.